Time wasted, not in hours, not in years. Time wasted in minutes. When I was a teenager, I smoked a lot, like a pack and a half a day. I quit smoking, finished a cigarette in the same minute. I never touched it since. And you shouldn't do anything that you won't do on your last day. Pretty much every day of my working life over the past many years, I'm getting asked a question: how in the hell do you get done so much? Sometimes it's over 100 different things going on at the same time. Personal projects, business projects, all kinds of things, right? The buildings we're constructing or renovating, or the buildings we just have an escrow that we want to buy and do something with. All those things that are going on in my life, all the different companies, is a standalone project, and people just amazed at how can I manage 40, 50, 60 of them at the same time. If you want something to get done, find the busiest person you know, and you want something to get done, give it to them to do. Because somehow, somewhere, while being so busy, they find the time and the energy to get it done. I've learned that the key to getting a lot of things done, it's much more important what you don't do during your working day than it is that what you do. Because sometimes the path how to get from point A to point B is not self-evident, not very clear, and you get distracted because you have emergencies pop up. I first started out my day by choosing deliberately what I'm not gonna do, such as watching Netflix, such as spending several hours a day playing Tetris or solitaire on the computer or phone, or spending time around the people, drinking beers. They're probably not gonna get me closer. I look at things that consume time in my life, and I figure out, is this activity getting me closer to my goal? And if it's not getting me closer to my goal, watching TV for 8 hours a day is probably not gonna get me closer to my goals, then I simply eliminate it and deliberately choose not to do. And everything in my life is deliberate. I don't find myself in any environment I don't wanna be in. I don't find myself with people that not giving me positive vibes and positive emotions. So by deliberately not choosing to do some things, it's like a hard drive. If you fill it up with a bunch of junk, there's going to be no space left on your computer for any positive files, for books, for educational materials to exist. So you first have to basically declutter your hard drive, eliminate everything that's you for sure know that's not going to get you closer. Attending events, social events, like just because you got invited doesn't mean you have to go there. You clean it up by eliminating those things, and then all of a sudden you have all this freed up space that you can start trying to fill it up. And then you do reassessment, in a few weeks or months, and it says, okay, now that I filled it up with these new activities, which one of those activities are not getting me closer? And you constantly do a reset and adjustment and reassessment. And after a while, it's going to be natural. You don't really have to do it when you choose not to do a bunch of things. Now you have all that extra time to achieve every single goal that you want. And for me, it's running 50, 60 projects at the same time.
What's the hardest thing you've stopped doing? What was the hardest thing to let go of?
Habits. Actually, one of the hardest things was probably smoking. When I was a teenager, I smoked a lot, like a pack and a half a day. If I could smoke while I was sleeping, I would have smoked while I was sleeping. I really enjoyed smoking. And then I did the math and I calculated. Every time I step outside to smoke a cigarette, let's say it takes me 2 minutes to do it, and then a minute interrupting, 5 minutes a day, and I smoke 30 cigarettes a day. So even if I just spent 1 minute per cigarette, right, per each session, not counting the interruption time, or having to go outside or look or drive to a gas station to buy a pack. Time wasted, not in hours, not in years. Time wasted in minutes. A bucket with a small hole at the bottom gets just as empty as a bucket that's deliberately knocked over. If I eliminate smoking and I save that 1 minute per cigarette times 30 cigarettes a day, that's 30 minutes a day. If I figure out how to combine the 30-minute block of time that I currently spend on smoking per day, over a course of a year, I get an extra 1 full month of productivity. Just 30 minutes a day. Average month is 22 working days. I found life hack. All these people have 12 months a year to achieve their goals, succeed in business, whatever. And I have 13. I have competitive advantage because I just figured out how to get an extra month a year of productivity by eliminating smoking. And I did the math in my head, and it occurred to me that I can get an extra month a year to do what I want to do. And by me continuing to smoke, I'm really stealing from my future. I'm stealing from my kids' future. I quit smoking, finished a cigarette, quit smoking the same minute, and never touched it since. It was in 2007.
How do you manage your time? How do you track and manage your time?
I don't, again, it comes naturally. I used to, but everything in my life is very deliberate. It's like Henry David Thoreau said, I went to the woods because I wanted to live deliberately, to suck out all the marrow of life, not when I come to die, discover I have not lived. By eliminating everything that is not life, you're giving yourself opportunity to suck out the marrow of life, so that when you come to die, you don't accidentally discover that you haven't lived. Yeah, it comes naturally. As I know when I get pulled many different directions. People want my time, they demand, and I just know, like, okay, that's how I want to spend my time. Really, I go by a principle, like, if not on the day I die, then not today either. If I won't do this activity on the day I die, then I probably shouldn't be doing it today either. The problem was that when none of us know when our last day or last hour is, you need to live your life as if it was your last day, and you shouldn't do anything that you won't do on your last day. Coming in here to the studio this morning, I'm totally fine. That if was my last day, that I would be totally fine having to spend an hour here doing this, because it leaves positive impact, maybe some people in the future. People can get an idea or two out of it that can help them improve their life. It's not just about myself, but about other people. Treat people as if it was their last day. So when you see somebody, assume this is the last time you've seen them. Would you really be angry at them? You would look at them and treat them with compassion. Give them love. And if you look at every relationship you have and every person you interact with that assumption, then you're going to see how your world changes and how your level of relationships and connections change with people. One thing I have is intolerance for surface level. We either go on the deep end and talk about important shit, or I don't want to waste, like, either on the deep end of the pool or you're not entering the pool at all, right? I have no interest in just dabbling my toes into the pool. Either let's jump in, head in, and talk about meaningful stuff, or let's not waste time chatting about the weather.